2012, the American base in Djibouti, called Camp Lemonnier, which was a French Foreign Legion base, was absolutely overgrown with drones and F-18s and everything. You could, as you're taxiing at the airport in Djibouti, you could start counting Predator drones parked wingtip to wingtip, and they went the entire length of the runway. And the Yemen government said, you know what? Al-Qaeda is your problem. They're our problem. Why not go ahead and forward deploy special forces and drones here in Yemen and save yourself an hour and a half of flight time? Because what was happening was we were flying drones out of Djibouti. Special forces were staging out of Djibouti. And if a drone found a target and it had to be hit, and the drone it wasn't armed, for instance, which is a very frequent deal. It's not always armed reconnaissance. If a special forces team was needed to attempt to capture or kill Al-Qaeda guys, they were still 3 hours away from the target. So look at this. The Yemeni government said, hey, why don't you forward deploy your American special forces asset, which may or may not be Delta Force, as well as why don't you forward deploy drones actually here in Yemen. It was amazing. Well, then in 2014, a militia in the north of Yemen along the Saudi border, it's very, very rugged terrain. It's very high mountains. I mean, 7,000 feet, 8,000 feet. They actually get snow in Yemen, right? Even though they're just north of the equator, they get snow in Yemen. And there's a militia, and they're made up of people who are primarily of the Yazdi sect of Islam. It's not Sunni, but then again, it's not Shia. It's a little closer to Shia than it is to Sunni, but the militia was named after the guy who started it, not the religion. They're called the Houthi militia, named after its founder. Now, the Fox News correspondent on Thursday said Houthis. I thought he was combining the Hutus and the Tutsis from Rwanda into one new militia. No, it's not Hutsi, it's Houthi, and that's the name of the founder. It's not a religion, and it's not a town. It's the name of the founder. They overthrew the U.S.-friendly government. The U.S., normally, any other American president, possibly even including Jimmy Carter, would probably intervene and support the American-friendly government after being overthrown. But we did not. Not only did we leave, we rolled up the U.S. Embassy. The Marine Guards, if you recall this about 2 years ago, famously were humiliated at the airport. They had to leave their weapons behind. And then the Special Forces base in Yemen, they hung out for a couple of weeks, but eventually they said to the Houthi militia as they were overrunning Yemen, if you get within 20 miles of this base, you're all going to die. And the Houthis actually respected that. And the Delta Force guys, or whoever they were, the drones left, the ground crew left, and the Special Forces guys destroyed the base and went back to Djibouti. So there's been a civil war ever since. So you recall when the U.S. announced, when the Obama administration announced, remember, this huge coalition to fight ISIS. And there was a United Arab Emirates female fighter pilot who dropped a bomb on ISIS and all that. There was a huge ballyhoo about what a great coalition of Gulf Arab states we had. That lasted about a month. Because when the Houthi rebels overthrew that government, they did it with the support and funding of the Iranian government. The Saudis were not having any of that. And the Saudis, at that point, pulled all the Gulf states, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, the Emirates, Dubai, and Abu Dhabi, pulled them all off of the mission to bomb ISIS, and they turned right around south and began bombing Yemen. And Iran invaded Yemen for a reason. Iran funded, trained, supplied, and encouraged the Houthis to overthrow that American-friendly government for a reason. And this is, when we come back, I'll tell you why what we're looking at in the region, the Middle East, is a large regional war and not three separate wars. One in Iraq, one in Syria, one in Yemen. The Iranians and the Russians are playing it on one chessboard. We're playing with three chessboards. But when we come back, I'll pull it all together for you and explain why it is one conflict. And that if you think there's three different sets of rules, you're going to get jobbed because the Iranians and the Russians know it's all one conflict. When we come back. At Dark Secret Place on the Twitter machine, Dark Secret Place at Proton Mail, KFI.com. If you want to contact me secretly, it's all encrypted, and it's based in Switzerland. So don't worry, WikiLeaks/Russia won't be reading that email. Back right after this, Brian Toots taking a break and coming back in a second. KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk. Michael Chappé with the news.
A woman has been arrested after a police chase of a suspected